I'll try as much as I can this night or this evening to cover more area, a lot of areas, even if not really completely detailed. Just for the sake of, sometimes if God call you, you live for yourself and then you live for others who really that might depend on you, sometimes directly or indirectly, or to make up their lives. So I prayed. I want to be very calm. You see, some of the revelation I want to share, I got them today. I got them under pressure. I happen to know how important to you. So why I teach, I learn. One of my motivation to come out is also to allow what I'm teaching to expand in my heart. So the first course is set boundaries and mind the differences. I'm trying to use it to help you very well so that I can really start. Father, we want to thank you for the opportunity to listen to your word, be glorified in Jesus' mighty name. Now, if you look at the organization of heaven, what rules heaven is separation. And what I mean by separation is to set the boundaries. If you go to heaven, heaven is divided into three classes: first heaven, second heaven, and the third heaven. Now, a lot of angels in heaven has not met God one-on-one, but they are in heaven. But they are in the part of heaven where God is not found. And they were created in a way that they must not meet God. That's what I mean by set boundaries. And God does not grant them the privilege. He doesn't grant them the privilege of meeting him for any reason. Why? Because they are not meant to meet God. They were made in a way that they must not meet God. So that time there was insurrection. There was insurrection in heaven. They didn't know anything about it. Some angels that were with God, who were either in the third heaven or the second heaven, they didn't know anything about that insurrection. They were not part of the battle because the battle didn't get to where they were found. Now, why the battle didn't get to where they were found is because they were too big. They were too big and too blessed by God to participate in that battle. That's how God reasons. God reasons that way. Sometimes we struggle with it. But God does not struggle with that. He doesn't. When Lucifer caused insurrection, it was possible for him because he leveraged on privileges. The Bible says in 28 verse 14 and 15 that he was brought to a mountain. And then he was a covered cherub. And then because he was the particular angel that was custodian of God's glory, that means He functioned in God's presence. If you want money or position, what I'm trying to explain, you must understand it. The angel of ordinance does not want to trifle with minding the differences. It's not possible. Because you see, the angel of ordinance is not a merciful angel. Nothing is more evil in heaven than breaking order. And there is nothing that God hates like chaos. That is why blindness, which causes stumbling, is one of the greatest offenses in God's sight. That is, you can't see. You don't know. So you make mistakes. Unforgivable. They don't care. That is why when you don't keep learning, you will start planning to die. You see, because when people don't know, they will die. Offense is inevitable in the sea of ignorance. Let me say it again. I said offense is inevitable as long as you are ignorant. Now, a lot of people talk about that offense. They talk about offense, but they don't care about ignorance. The father of all darkness is the angel of ignorance, because it's why Lucifer enforced insurrection. It's because of abused imagination. He believed at a point he could receive an aid to topple God, which was impossible. And then because God is CN from the beginning, he interprets what you will be from what you are. So his imagination doesn't fail him. Because of complicated intelligence. So he knew the suffocation that go to men when they're overwhelmed with certain power or privileges. So he knew that Satan might be up to something that if his honor is exaggerated, if his glory is compoundly exaggerated, that he could finger into insurrection. So he set boundaries on him. Even though he exposed him to certain brightness because he wanted him to serve better, he still kept limitation on him. That should be the operation. Here on earth and in any realm, heaven. I would like you to listen. It is not possible for you to attract tangible blessing from God if you don't understand boundaries. It's not possible for you. It's not possible for you to enjoy the service of certain kind of spirits if you don't know why they must come to you. Maybe somebody didn't hear what I said. Now, if you like privileges, you should be able to know where opportunities stop and where. I don't know why somebody's hearing me. Huh? Please let me ask you to hear this. It will help you much. One of the ways to know that an environment is healthy or a family is rich is that the organizational structure will be very high. When I came to church today, I studied the book of Jude. I had in mind to do some studies, and when I studied the book of Jude, I took two strong decisions that I will never utter in my life concerning relationships with spirits or concerning relationship with privileged people. Let me give it to you as a gift immediately. if somebody is where you are, not, and you want to be there, you should acknowledge two things: the person and the angel that is with him. Don't struggle with that. Respect it. Now, respect is not religious. It's technical and it's an intelligent act. It functions from the fountains of wisdom. Now, but recognizing it is not meant for those who must remain in the floor for a long time. Less privileged people try to use energy they don't have, because they are wounded. Now, when I use wound, I don't think it's the best word for ignorance, but I think it interprets witchcraft more. You know, sometimes I use some spiritual grammar to interpret something that is mental. So sometimes it complicates some people. Now, God believes that order should be respected. So when you want to connect from where you are to that place, you admire it. You see, because you will need a crossover, and then you will need a help from the up, from you who step it down to climb. Now, we don't struggle with it. All who climb, they know. I would like you to listen to something. There is nobody listening to me that didn't come with an angel. Whether you're hearing me online or you're sitting down, you came with an angel. And then you came with an angel of your destiny. So, please try and listen. Another person is not your problem. So when somebody is trying to, there is a place you will find yourself only finding yourself. Only finding yourself. You thank God for that. There are people that you shake hands with them. You thank God for that. All hands are not equal. And then, what the great have more than the poor or the ordinary is that they understand fast. It is not possible for me to forget all I have gone through to come to this place. So, when you are down below, and you want to come to where I am, quickly, I will know what you're going to go through. And then I will weigh the energy. I will weigh you to know whether I have the energy to go through it. Whether you even understand. Whether you even understand that you go through it in the first place. Or whether you think you can cross by faith. That is the problem of the church. The church teaches that you will cross by faith. It's not true. You don't cross by faith. You cross on merit. So when people start ignoring all they've gone through to achieve certain things, or to know certain things, or to be in certain place, God already called their sweat. And then impartations. From classified intelligence and opportunities, there are angels that will do nothing with some people. Now, so the only place some people meet some angels is in congregational meeting. That we are here now. Now, if you're here and you're going to go home, you're going to go home with the angel of your size. And then some angels that are here now with us are bigger than your size. So fellowship provides us opportunity of enjoying that, and then people should acknowledge it. That is why some people are not given opportunity to be in some places except they pay. And if somebody tell you for adventure, if somebody tell you by adventure that money is a joke, don't listen to him, because it's one of the reasons Jesus died. So if you're looking at me and you are like me, you came from a poor home, I would like you to understand that the only way to come out of that poor home is to understand boundaries early, and then mind the differences. You should be able to know this is where you are, this is who you are, and this is where you will be. And then you should not make any mistake of thinking that God will violate the order of movement, maybe by mere chance. So when I started growing, fast early as from a little bit above 10, I started studying boundaries. I started studying differences. I started knowing all the things I lacked, why I lacked it. I started knowing where I stopped, where you stopped, and where I was helped, and when I came into a particular level, when I left the level. Like I told you, throughout the time I was in Kano, there was no time. If you hear my messages in Kano, there was no time I attack Igbos. I was angry with the way they are. No, for the 14 years, from age 1 to like up to 44, I didn't attack them. Now, I didn't attack them because I was at a certain level where what I was providing, what I was getting from around them was acceptable by me, until one day, a day came when I just knew that I have to go on from that level, that I have to go on from that level. When it was time for me to go on from that level, I started making a lot of effort, and then as I was making those efforts, they were reciprocating to me in a very poor way. In a very poor way. The things that I was expecting, they don't have it, because I wanted to be. They desired to be global. Started coming to me, and I needed the aid of what they saw, that what I was sowing. I needed to have some kind of tithe, I needed like first fruit is going on. I needed some kind of first fruit from those I'm laboring, and then from people I'm pouring my life into. And then when I started expecting those things and I didn't get it from them, I started looking at why they can't have it. And then when I saw why they can't have it, I started attacking that why. Was I able to land?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Was I able to land?
Yes, sir.
I said when I wanted them to give me a big fruit from my content, from my value, and from what service I rendered, like any other pastor from any other instruction, and they couldn't give it to me, then I started landing on them. I started landing. They are not stingy. I'm not talking about stinginess. I'm talking about they don't have. And then the deceiver has already swindled them. Get them disillusioned. Get them disillusioned. Not to know that they don't have. And then that disillusioned hurts me. Maybe somebody here, I said the what? Their disillusion hurts me deeply. You see, because from classified intelligence, that's the last order of destruction. That something is happening around you maliciously and you can't interpret it. And then you're supporting it. So how can you be emancipated? Now that is progressively. Up till now, I'm still in it. And then what I'm trying to do from this year, application of how not to render certain services to them. So that they cannot enjoy something they can't pay back. And I'm sharing on mind the boundaries, setting the boundaries on mind the differences. There are services you don't render to certain class of people. Because of expecting reward, which they can't give you. So don't even try. There's a difference between dashing somebody something and then giving something that is important to you. You can dash something and walk away. If the person didn't respond, you might not worry. But if you lay down your life, you will care about where it is. Particularly concerning the type of life that's been laid down. So you don't share without considering who you're sharing with. You see, because you expect a reward at the time. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Even among angels, God was able to say, we have three archangels. We have Michael, we have Gabriel, and then we have Lucifer before he fell, before the instauration. Now God, that's the only three. And if you look at their functions, they were different. Gabriel was in charge of information. That is a revelation. And then Michael was in charge of war. And Lucifer was keeper of God's glory. They were separated, classified. Now that is the way God functions. Now let me land this way. There are some spirits that will never keep company with you until you understand this. Because it creates steps for you to climb up. You should be able to know when another angel, an angel of a better person has come into your life to move you. And you should be totally grateful. And then, please hear me. Don't be casual about gratefulness. If somebody do you good, at every point in your life, keep appreciating. Don't stop appreciating. Particularly if that favor is classified. That it is possible for somebody to help you in a way that your life is altered forever. Now that means that person you should be eternally grateful. That means you cannot stop that praise. You see, because this person intervened in your life and then moved you. So it's not gratefulness at a temporary time. Because it's eternal. I cannot keep on it. But I think I have helped you. For instance, look here. The guardian angel of immortality. Some people are saying they will not die, but the angel is not keeping company with them. And I don't know how they can die. Now, the angel is not keeping company with them because they have not set the boundaries that will protect the angel. There is no angel that go to dark environment, mired in deepness, without proper preparation, because of casualties. Yes, there's no angel go for rescue operation. It's not possible, because some of the demons are more powerful than some angels. So it's not oh God, send your angels. It's not every angel that can go. If you look at the book of Daniel chapter 10, the Bible said when the first angel that was sent to help Daniel, they were arrested. They were apprehended and then incarcerated. And they were there until Michael came to aid them. That means Michael, I would like you to know that before Michael came there, a lot of them have been punished. By a stronger prince of an environment. That a pastor that was standing on the way and then he fell and died. There were angels that were with him, and they couldn't protect him from the attack. that killed him. There are pastors that cannot buy one plot of land. That does not mean angels are not with them. The angels that are with them cannot aid them to have one plot of land. Those angels, the angel that doesn't have certain powers. Because so, all right, that is what I have shared on. I think I've said some things that are okay. Please, if you want to go out of a place, understand boundaries first. Relating according to pattern is not pride. Sometimes some people are exceptionally careful. No. Exceptional carefulness is not important. I say it's not what? What I mean is that there are people that must know some things about you at certain levels. Now what is wrong is if they are not the people. Now if they are the people, they should know. Even if, because when you share part of your life, treasure is not much. So even if somebody know part of you and fail you, it doesn't still matter. Don't forget that a man and a woman can divorce, and they will have their difference. That is why when a woman divorces her husband, being unnecessarily loud noisy is unimportant. Don't take the fight. If there was love and wedding and it didn't work out eventually, people of both sides should be quiet. You have already had your secrets, and don't be noisy about it. It will not favor anybody. It will favor the man, it will not favor the woman. If the woman become flippant and become noisy, don't forget that people can know foolishness and idiotism from distance. You cannot open your mouth and be talking against a man you've shared with. You shared too much with, because you're exposing yourself. You can't expose him without exposing yourself. The moment you call him my former husband, people bring you to where you are. And you said you live together for 10 years. And then you have 3 kids together. And then you're still saying some things. You go home. Go home and go inside. There is nothing in that story that will favor you. Church, am I great? Clap your hand. Remember that one of the things that causes problem in marriage is lack of boundaries. And then people lack, and they happen more in the church when people are trying to be spiritual over something that requires common sense. Come, this is your husband, this is your wife, and these boundaries are here, and that is that. Give it to him. If you agree on it, give it to him. If there is shifting, now the original should not be forgotten, because that could be shifting. And somebody might get better. There is something I'm still thinking that, underclassified. Like I'm eunuch. I am eunuch. God cares about it. That made me one of the best men that is alive in God's sight. Don't joke. Boundaries are on it. If there is a eunuch for God and a married man for God also, if somebody have to die, God will not think two times. If God have to give something, God will not think two times. If God have to trust, God will not think two times. Remember that an information you reveal to a married man is a risk in the wife's hand. So you cannot be too sure. You cannot be sure his wife will not know. There are so many things we say without talking. Some people who their eyes are trained to see and their mind are also trained to pick information. They can pick classified information from study. They can pick something that is not visible to physical eyes, just from study and from broad enlightened knowledge. I know what I'm trying to do as I'm talking. Is the process of raising the best 1,000 richest people in eternity, and that's what I'm in. You see, because when you say 1,000, you're talking about the separation. It can't be everybody. So it has to be classified. If you look, let me go on to something. God's blessings are reserved for worthy men. Now it is something also. What I'm sharing is something also that is very important to me. That God's blessings are for worthy men. Now, when I'm talking about worthiness, I am talking about belt. I am talking about belt. B-U-I-L-T. Acts of Apostles, chapter 20, verse 32, he said, I commend you to God and word of his grace that is capable of building you and giving you inheritance among the sanctified. Now, there are two things I want to help you immediately that will touch you. Now, I'm not supposed to say it to congregation. I'm supposed to say it to pastors. But because we are here, I want you to hear. One of the reasons why, one of the things that get God angry on earth, get him angry on earth, is trying to allocate blessing to somebody who is unworthy. You see, because God is not interested in losing what he has. And then God is offended when men of God compels him to bless the unworthy. Let me say it again. I say God is thoroughly offended when pastors use platform to persuade him to allocate blessing